You think I wanted this? All right, I wanted this! Who the are you?
Today we're diving into the dark side of TikTok and the terrible crimes committed by some of its influencers. You may have seen innocent-looking influencers lip-syncing and dancing, but there are some who have taken a more sinister path. Let me introduce you to Isabella Guzman, a girl who may look innocent on the outside, but she is one of the most evil people you may have ever heard of. She lived in Colorado with her mother and stepfather, but the relationship between them was toxic. Isabella was always disrespectful and constantly got into trouble at school. The only person she seemed to respect was her real father. But the real trouble started when her mother found out about her secret boyfriend. Isabella would sneak him in and out of the house behind her mother's back, but eventually the neighbors snitched and her mother got furious. Isabella threatened to harm her mother and even said, "You will pay." Her mother was so scared she called the cops. They deemed there was no threat and left. But her mother and father tried to talk some sense into her. It was all for naught. A week later, Isabella committed the unthinkable, waiting for her mother to come home from work and brutally murdering her with a knife and baseball bat. It's a heartbreaking and disturbing story, and it goes to show that even the most innocent-looking people can have dark secrets and commit terrible crimes. Jinkid, also known as Ali Nazir Abulaban, was a huge TikTok user with around 956,000 followers. He was known for his comedic impressions of characters like Tony Montana, 6ix9ine, and also characters from the video game Skiro. He also had a substantial following on Instagram, but in October 2021, Jinkid's life took a shocking turn. Cops were called to his apartment in San Diego, where they found the body of his wife Anna and the body of her friend Rayburn. Police say that Jinkid took their lives. Jinkid is currently being held in jail without bail. Surprisingly, his TikTok account is still up. His wife Anna had been shot once and her friend Baron had been shot 3 times. Anna and Baron had actually been in a romantic relationship, and Anna had kicked Jinkid out of her house weeks before. But Jinkid later returned and vandalized the apartment. He also installed an app on their daughter's phone which allowed him to hear what was going on inside the apartment. This is a clear indication of Jinkid's unstable and obsessive behavior. It just goes to show how far some people will go to hold on to something that they believe is important. Jinkid's actions were a clear display of controlling and dangerous behavior. Despite his arrest and pending trial for murder, his TikTok account remains active and some of his followers continue to support him. The trial is ongoing, and if convicted, Jinkid could spend the rest of his life in prison. Meet Zachary Latham, an 18-year-old with a thirst for fame and a reckless streak that would lead to his downfall. Zachary grew up in Vineland, New Jersey, where he lived with his grandparents after being legally emancipated from his parents. He was known for his love of cars, and on TikTok he bragged about his Nissan 350Z and Corvette. But it wasn't just the love of fast cars that landed him in trouble. It was his dangerous driving habits that caught the attention of his neighbor, William Durham. In 2018, William asked Zachary to slow down and drive more safely in the neighborhood, but Zachary didn't take it seriously. Things went on like this for a few years until one fateful summer day in 2020. That's when Zachary's obsession with TikTok's fame led him to cross a line he couldn't come back from. Catherine Durham, William's wife, saw Zachary driving recklessly and confronted him. But instead of listening, Zachary pulled out his phone and began recording for TikTok. He mockingly called her Karen and posted the video to TikTok, where it quickly racked up millions of views.
Go ahead, get my tag.
Let's go.
Get my tag, Karen.
My name is not Karen, so get my name straight.
Get my tag, it's okay.
But this fame came at a cost. The Durhams were humiliated and Zachary's behavior only got worse. In August 2020, William had enough and confronted Zachary, leading to a physical altercation. In the heat of the moment, Zachary pulled out a gun and shot William, taking his life. Zachary's crime was captured on his own TikTok account and quickly went viral. But instead of the fame he had sought, he was met with disgust and condemnation. He was arrested and charged with murder. His trial is ongoing, but one thing is for sure: Zachary's actions have forever changed the lives of the Durham family and serve as a tragic reminder of the dangerous obsession for fame on social media. Have you ever heard of the hashtag Justice for Cameron? Well, it may sound strange, but there's a real story behind it that you need to hear. On May 23rd, 2018, 18-year-old Cameron Herron was engaging in one of his favorite hobbies, illegal street racing. He was speeding down Bayshore Boulevard in Tampa, Florida in his Ford Mustang, topping speeds of 100 miles per hour. But as he slowed down from 100 miles an hour to 40 and then 30, he lost control of his car. Cameron's Mustang veered directly into 20-year-old Jessica Riesinger Albanort and her 1-year-old daughter, Lilia. Cameron eventually stopped his car, but it was too late. Jessica and Lilia's lives were taken in a split second, and Cameron's life would be forever changed. Fast forward to April 9, 2021, Cameron was sentenced to 24 years in prison for his crime. But something strange happened in the aftermath of his sentencing. TikTok users, mainly young girls, began posting videos pleading for leniency for Cameron, claiming that he was too cute to go to jail. They started a Change.org petition, which garnered over 27,000 signatures. Cameron's good looks and bad boy image seemed to be the driving force behind this movement. Despite dangerous behavior and the devastating consequences of his actions, these young women saw him as a tragic figure who was deserved of a second chance. They were making fan cams of him and using the song "I'm in Love with a Criminal" to forget, Cameron admitted to his crime, and his actions resulted in the death of a mother and her child. Illegal street racing is not a game. It's important to remember the devastating consequences that can come from such reckless behavior. This case raises important questions about the impact of social media on our justice system and how we perceive criminals. It's a disturbing trend to see people trying to downplay or excuse a criminal's actions simply because of their physical appearance or online persona. Claire Miller, a 14-year-old girl from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Before her life took a dark turn, Claire was living a pretty normal life with her sister Helen, who was 19 years old and had cerebral palsy. Claire would take care of Helen, who would not speak or move on her own. But on February 22nd, 2021, Helen's life was tragically taken by her own little sister. That night, police were called to the Millers' home. When they arrived, they found Claire standing outside the house covered in blood, repeatedly saying, "I stabbed my sister." Inside the house, police found Helen with a large knife in her neck. Despite the horror of the crime, Claire's TikTok page exploded with new followers and even comments of support. It's a sickening reminder of the twisted nature of some people and the effects social media can have on our perceptions. Claire's TikTok page under the name Spirits and Such Consulting had a following of 22,000 followers and over 1 million likes. She would post videos of herself lip-syncing and dancing, but as news of her crime spread, her following quickly grew to an additional 32,000 followers. Eventually, TikTok did take down her page, but it's chilling to think that some people would follow and support a killer. Many theories have been floating around as to why Claire would do something so horrific. Some say she was jealous of the attention Helen was getting because of her disability, while others speculate that she was worried about the financial strain her family was under because of Helen's medical expenses.